Now at 7 o'clock, a live look from Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley approaching nearly 16 straight hours on the Senate floor. This is a form of protest by the senator against President Trump's threats to deploy the National Guard to U.S. cities, including Portland. We'll have more on his marathon speech coming up. Plus,
are you familiar with the term surveillance pricing?
No.
Do you know what surveillance pricing is? No.
All right, surveillance pricing, what it is and how companies are using it to charge you more for the same product. Thomas?
And here at the Moda Center, guys, Eric Patterson not only is a great photographer, he's a heck of a tattoo artist too. We're at Rose City Tattoo. I'm getting my first Blaze tat today. It's about time. We'll have it all coming up. Streaming at 7 on Sunrise starts right now.
That was Tattoo Thomas.
oh, very good.
Tattoo Tommy. So we're going to see what trouble he's getting into. Thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Chris McGinnis and Rod Hill with no tattoos to speak. Am I right in saying that? Neither of you have a tattoo?
You know about that?
I'm asking. Chris, any tattoos?
Silence.
Rod, any tattoos?
No tattoos in my entire family.
Okay. Still don't know about Chris.
Okay.
You do or you don't? Oh my gosh. Okay. Chris, we'll have your traffic report. In just,
I have no tattoos.
well, why not just say that? You have no tattoos?
I thought about getting a tattoo once.
Okay. All right. Anyways,
I heart
Rodney,
Drew.
your forecast.
I had a pimple when I was younger. That was about it. Here's our Salem sky camera. No fog here. 42 degrees. There's fog out on the west side, mainly Hillsborough area, Washington County, Yamhill County. And actually, if you look at the tip top, not only fog free in downtown Portland, but you can see a little early morning sunrise colors there too. We're about 30 minutes out from sunrise. 45 is the temperature right now. So there are foggy areas, mainly west side this morning out the door, mid 50s at noon. This is a nice day. There is that chance with increasing clouds going into the afternoon that we could see some sprinkles or a traceable amount of rain. Other than that, all dry and 63. Here's Chris.
All right, Rod, thanks for that. Let's get you out the door. A quick look at the drive-through King City. Something's hanging up the commute right now. 99W out near Durham Road. We did have an earlier report of a crash here just north of this camera vantage point. The headlights here. That's the northbound drive on 99W. It's busy, but it looks like it's moving okay. It is certainly slowing now out of Clark County, and I lost the camera, unfortunately, but the drive from Main Street down to the Fremont Bridge now has jumped up to about 17 minutes at last check. So we're getting busier on that side of town. Live look from our Rose City sky camera looking down on the Markham Bridge. Headlights there in the northbound commute. That's obviously getting busier, as is the Banfield. Right now, you're tripping from Troutdale. 21 minutes and building. Guys, back to you.
All right, from traffic, we go to the Blazers because they are back in action tonight. First game of the season happening at the Moda Center.
They've got some stiff competition as they take on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and fans have been waiting a long time for today. So Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz is breaking all down at the Moda Center. Thomas, you were getting a tattoo. What are you?
Is that really happening?
What's happening?
Look, we had to take a quick pause. Eric, we've got things to do, guys, but we're going to get back to that tattoo. First, I want to bring in Maggie here. She is part of the brand strategy here with the Blazers. You guys got a lot of activities for kids, not just the tattoos. We're also on the kid floor here, guys, so a lot of things for family fun. And I got to give it to you. This is more my speed. You know, you see the 10-foot rims and you're like, okay, it'd be nice to get up there. This is more like it. You get to actually yam that basketball, something that I've always wanted to do, never really had the opportunity to do it. But fill us in a little bit on just other things that you guys got going on for kids and families this year.
Yeah, absolutely. We're debuting a new series, our Sunday Family Fun Days, happening at select Trailblazers home games this year, designed specifically with families in mind. We have 4 Sunday Fun Days, all with 3 p.m. tip-offs. The first one is coming up on November 11th or November 30th against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Big game, really big game, good team. And I want to show you, look, we got the basketball. You got perfect time to get your dunks in. I want to show you a little bit over here too. Again, 3rd floor of the Moda Center, talking all things family fun. Check this out. You know Sabonis, you know Clyde Drexler, of course. You got their handprints on the ball. Check out your wingspan, all right? Check out, does it compare to the largest native fish here in Oregon? I don't know. Something you got to figure out yourself. I don't know if I crack it, but obviously, if you are a family, got kids here, this is the place to be. This is the place you want to bring them. And also, I mean, look, we were talking to your Chef Jess, a little bit earlier. You guys got a lot of food options, a lot of just really great opportunities for families, especially on those Sundays, right?
Yes, absolutely. And we know, the 7 p.m. tip-offs can be a little bit prohibitive for families with young children. So we're really excited about these 3 p.m. games. As you can see, Kid City is super fun, but we're expanding this throughout the entire arena this year on those select Sundays. So we're really excited to bring this to families.
Kid City in Rip City. One more question for you, Maggie. I also heard too, even when you're bringing the kids, doesn't mean you can't enjoy a margarita or something like that too, right?
Yes, we will have mimosas and Bloody Marys for parents, because obviously parents need a little fun too.
A little fun too for the whole family, whether you're gamming, whether you're checking your wingspan. Maybe you're getting that Rip City tattoo, guys. Actually, something I'm going to get back to here in a second. Everything for everybody here at the Moda Center this year.
Tattoo.
Tattoo time.
What do you know what you're going to get? What are we getting?
Hey, we're getting Blaze. We're getting Blaze here. Come here, Eric. We got to show this off real quick. This is what we got coming up right here. You got all sorts of designs. I think I'm going this Blaze tattoo here right on the left forearm. I think that's something that I think would just take my game here to the next level.
You have an impressive forearm. I'll say that, and I think it would be even more impressive with Blaze featured upon it. Thomas Schultz live this morning for us at the Moda Center.
Okay. Your time now is 7:06. We have some news to get to right now. This is a live look from the Senate floor where Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley has been talking since 3:30 yesterday afternoon. Merkley says the marathon speech is to protest President Donald Trump's, quote, grave threats to democracy. That includes the threat of sending National Guard troops into U.S. cities like Portland.
Never should a government seek to deploy the military against peaceful protesters, to try to create a riot, to try to justify an expansion of authoritarian power. Never should that happen.
Merkley's staff has said that he wants to keep going as long as he can, though his remarks are drawing criticism. Senate Republicans pointing out that Merkley forced staff and Capitol Police to work overnight while not getting paid because of the government shutdown.
We're also hearing from President Trump this morning. He addressed this week's ruling by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals that essentially cleared the way for the National Guard's deployment to Portland.
I looked at Portland over the weekend. The place is burning down, just burning down. We weren't there. We didn't spend much time there because we were waiting for that decision. But the court, maybe that influenced the court.
So the president there clearly reaffirming his stance that Portland is, in his words, burning down, specifically referencing this past weekend. So here's what we actually covered this past weekend. Roughly 40,000 people attending the No Kings protest downtown. A couple of hundred people blocking the road outside the city's ICE facility. And Portland police reporting that they detained 3 people altogether during those events. While the Ninth Circuit Court ruled against one of the temporary restraining orders that's been blocking National Guard deployment to Portland, there is still a second such order in place. So that one blocks all federalized National Guard members from deploying here, not just the ones based in Oregon.
And today is a deadline for both sides to refile arguments on whether the case against that second order should be heard again. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live from downtown with more, including reaction from the mayor. Good morning, Corey.
Good morning, China. Drew, Mayor Wilson tells KGW that he wants everyone in the city of Portland to continue to peacefully protest as these decisions play out. Now, Monday's ruling from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals gave the green light for the Trump administration to deploy National Guard troops here to Portland. The Trump administration is asking Judge Emmerich to dissolve her second temporary restraining order that covered all federalized National Guard troops, not just those from Oregon. Now, on Tuesday, the state of Oregon and the city of Portland filed a request asking her to hold off on that decision until after more legal avenues play out. Now, both sides have until today to file arguments on whether the Ninth Circuit should rehear the case before a larger 11-judge panel. Meanwhile, Mayor Keith Wilson reiterated Tuesday Portland does not need National Guard troops.
We're not war-ravaged. As we wrangle this through the courts, let's recognize where we've come from. Every time we've sued, we've won. We're now having to pivot, and we will continue to win through the courts.
Now, it's important to keep in mind as all of this plays out, roughly 200 Oregon National Guard members are still at Camp Riley on the coast waiting for their orders. That's in addition to other California Guard members who are also standing by in Happy Valley. Drew, China.
Our Corey Johnson reporting live this morning. Thank you, Corey. Members of Portland City Council are continuing to say Portland does not need the National Guard. Councilors called Monday's ruling troubling, saying that they aren't backing down. In the coming months, Councilor Samir Kanal will introduce new legislation regarding how federal agents identify themselves and their use of tear gas and pepper spray. The next week, the city and state are going in front of a judge to present their argument that sending in the National Guard is not legal and should not be happening. They're hopeful that they will get the opportunity to have a larger panel of Ninth Circuit Court judges hear this case and get a new ruling.
Can I provide you with a more peaceful shot this morning?
Yeah.
Look at that. That's peace, Rod Hill. That's our Chehalem Tasting Room Sky Cam out in Sherwood. Was this the shot yesterday or a similar shot that you thought was like one of the best in the history of the Sunrise Show?
Yeah, this camera yesterday just had an image that I fell in love with. It showed some bright, early sunrise colors going close to the 8 o'clock hour. It had the shallow fog down low, had the beautiful vibrant colors of the vineyards, showing the leaves on the vines changing colors. So pretty. We do have fog pockets this morning out on the west side only. Overnight, there was just enough wind coming out of the gorge that it kept downtown Portland fog-free and areas out on the east side fog-free. And other parts of the valley, again, here's that camera Drew in China just showed you. 38 is the number out there. Here's the Wells Fargo look from downtown Portland off to the east at a partly cloudy sky. 45 is the number. Winds are generally light now, including out on the east side after breezes that were bouncing to 20 miles per hour at times overnight. Those winds holding Happy Valley at 52, Troutdale at 52, but then calm and Battleground 39, calm and Tigert and Sherwood and Forest Grove all in the 30s. There's Canby at 39 degrees. There's a breeze into Silverton and 61. Not really looking for much wind today overall, generally 5 to 15 mile per hour stuff. Increasing clouds going into the afternoon with the chance of some traceable amounts of rain. The best chance of any moisture falling from the sky at all would be up around Astoria. Portland may or may not see just a trace of rain, and will be partly to mostly sunny with 60s out across eastern Oregon. Our 7-day forecast, 63 today. I think there's at least a rain chance tomorrow, but models keep insisting the cloudiness coming in will stay dry, 64. The impact alert for the 2-day rain event on Friday and Saturday, coming with heavy rain pockets, gusty winds, coast and valley. Looks like the snow level holds above Cascade Passes now until Saturday night going into Sunday. And then Sunday is still pretty wet. It's just that the main event will be over, the rain amounts will be lighter, and the winds will be gone, and we have shower chances into the first part of the week as well. Here's Chris McGinnis.
Some puddle jumping this weekend. All right, let's go ahead and get you out the door. We'll take it out to Oregon City, Westland. The drive south from Gladstone through Oregon City and Westland, definitely getting busier here. This is the Abernathy Bridge, the headlights in that shot. That's northbound 205, the southbound commute on the right-hand side of your screen. You can see that's really starting to slow here at Highway 213, about 14 miles an hour or so from there. The drive in from Troutdale, 20 minutes now on I-84. The drive north from Wilsonville, about 22 minutes. And here's one of the slowest stretches of freeway in town right now, I-5 up near Lombard. Headlights in that shot. Southbound, you're tripping from Clark County, just shy of 20 now to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. China?
Thank you, Chris. Have you ever looked up a flight on your computer, maybe at work, then looked up the same flight later on your phone and noticed that the prices were suddenly higher? Well, you aren't imagining it. It's called surveillance pricing, and coming up in 2 minutes, we're going to tell you how it works and how you can avoid it.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
It's called surveillance pricing, and it's how companies are charging you more for the same product just because you showed interest in it through web searches. Cheryl Mercedes shows us how it works and what you can do to avoid it.
Hotel rooms, flights, ride shares. If you book online, there may be a little shopping secret you have never heard of.
Have you ever heard of the term surveillance pricing?
No.
Are you familiar with the term surveillance pricing?
No.
Do you know what surveillance pricing is?
No.
What is surveillance pricing?
When companies adjust prices for the same product based on consumer data.
University of Houston Associate Professor of Human Resources and Consumer Sciences, Doon Shin, says companies use data like where you live, how often you shop online, and how much you spend, then charge you a price based on that.
The outcome is that two people could see two different prices for the exact same item at the same time.
And she says the type of device you shop on, yeah, that matters too.
If we are looking at the device type, it's an iPhone versus, like I say, a budget Android, then companies kind of make inferences. iPhone, the device is more expensive, so maybe they have a deeper pocket or higher willingness to pay.
Or you might be paying more for a product just because they think you can afford more.
It's nearly impossible for a shopper to avoid, but Shin says there are some steps you can take to minimize the impact. You can use a private web browser, clear the cookies in your search history, and check the price on multiple devices. Shopper Sean Murphy says it's something he's already doing.
I go to a private mode in Google or use a different computer or router, depending, once I make my final purchase.
So you think that might change the way you shop?
Yes.
Illegal.
Been going on forever, though, at this point, right?
Yeah, no.
mean,
I didn't know it was called that, but I knew exactly what they were talking about.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
I mean, it seems like the eyeball test says that my wife started noticing this airline shopping quite a while ago. There's the price. And then you go back to it, and it's like, what? It's $60 more.
Yeah.
Well, that happens based off even the time of the day.
Yeah, but I think it also happens on that.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of evilness out there with these companies trying to squeeze money out of us, even though their CEOs make multiple billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah, stop doing that.
All right, here's a look at our rain potential map. Who agrees with me? All right. We've got Friday and Saturday and the Sunday rain totals on the map. Again, Sunday, the event is over. The winds will be down. It'll be more of a showery day, maybe a quarter of an inch. So most of these numbers are Friday and Saturday. 2 to 3 at the coast, well over an inch to an inch and a half of rain at the valley. Good rain amounts all areas, including 8/10 of an inch showing up in John Day. At this point, it looks like the passes will be wet until snow levels drop to pass level and eventually to 3,000 feet Saturday night into Sunday. That means we would wake up to snow-covered passes Sunday morning over the Cascades, and this shows maybe 5 inches of snow potentially at Government Camp. Winds don't look high enough for any warnings to be issued, but there could be 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts at times Friday and Saturday, along the headlands anyway, along the coast. This shows in the morning as the first front is approaching 30-plus mile-per-hour winds coming up from the south along the coast. Noticeable breezes in the valley. Here's 1 o'clock Friday afternoon, 40-mile-per-hour gust plus the beach, 30-mile-per-hour gusts in the valley. There's a 37 gust in Salem around mid-afternoon Friday. That's how when the first front's coming in. Then those winds will kind of pick back up with a second front coming in Saturday. Again, Nothing damaging, nothing probably high enough for any alerts or anything, but noticeably blustery with heavy rain pockets coming both days, Friday and Saturday. All right, Salem pretty shot this morning. Partly cloudy skies to mostly cloudy over our capital city, currently 42 degrees from that vantage point. Here's a pretty early look at the pre-sunrise colors as we look at Mount Hood from Wells Fargo building. 45 is the number there. We're 47 in Kelso, 39 in Eugene this morning, 20s in Baker City, and 20 in Burns. Futurecast, don't forget, here's 11 o'clock. There's a little rain dribble. A trace of rain potentially going into the afternoon with a weak system passing. Most of us probably to stay dry. Here's tomorrow morning. I think tomorrow sees a lot of cloud cover. I think there's at least a chance of rain, but the models keep us dry, so we'll see. Here's Friday morning right from the get-go, 7 o'clock, rain just outside of Portland, raining pretty good at the coast, and then all of that comes in. This is Friday at 5 p.m. Now, there's another front out here, so this is not a big break. There will be more shots of rain coming in Friday overnight and into the day on Saturday. Again, on this Wednesday, p.m. trace of rain, maybe. Otherwise, kind of partly to mostly cloudy. 60-degree temperatures for high, 63 in Portland, 64 tomorrow. The impact alert. Notice by Sunday a high only of about 53 with showers and snow over Cascade Passes. Shower threat goes into next week. And here is Chris McGinnis.
It's fall. All right, let's get you out the door. We'll take a quick look at the drive through North Portland, which is slowing by the minute. Not that that's all that unexpected. There's a live look up near the Expo Center. Headlights in there. That's the southbound drive right up past Victory Boulevard. And right now the trip in from Clark County has jumped up to about 21 minutes now. That's Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. To this west side, this is on Highway 26 out near Murray Boulevard. Here is the eastbound drive moving from the bottom part of your screen up to the top. That, of course, is starting to build a little bit. And Markham Bridge, this is the live look from our Rose City Sky Camera. It's dry and traffic is moving along okay there. But again, here too, the drive times are starting to tick up just a little bit. 24 minutes right now gets you in from Troutdale to downtown. Drew?
I've got something next, Chris, that is longer than the morning commute. We're talking about the government shutdown, right? 22 days into what is now the second largest government shutdown in U.S. history. No real end in sight still. Coming up here in 2 minutes, we'll have the latest on negotiations to end the shutdown, what Democrats in D.C. say they want from the president.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Today marks the 22nd day of the government shutdown, making it the second longest in U.S. history. Bipartisan discussions to end the shutdown have stalled at this point, and Democrats say they want a meeting with President Trump. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest for us from Washington, D.C.
Mr. President, I've come to the Senate floor tonight.
On the Senate floor, an all-night speech on ending the government shutdown and protesting President Trump's policies from Oregon Democrat Jeff Merkley.
Now, it is our United States Constitution and our freedoms that are under attack by the President of the United States.
That as top congressional Democrats are demanding a meeting with the president to negotiate an end to the shutdown that addresses a looming spike in health care premiums for millions of Americans.
The president should meet with us. It's not me, him, or anything political. It's that the people are in crisis.
I will only meet if they let the country open. They have to let the country open.
President Trump met Tuesday with Senate Republicans united in their stance that only Democrats can end the shutdown by signing on to a short-term funding bill that's now failed 11 times.
We are going to keep voting to open up the government, and eventually the Democrats, hopefully sooner or later, are going to come around.
Lawmakers acknowledging even informal bipartisan talks have stopped.
Because there can't be another conversation that continues until we open the government.
Amid the stalemate, real pain for American families. With federal workers missing paychecks, demand is surging at food banks across the country. And now low-income SNAP food benefits are in jeopardy, with funding running out November 1st.
If those SNAP dollars get cut in half, that would mean that a local food center, food bank would have to quadruple their output just to meet that need.
A growing crisis with no end in sight. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
A new state law aims to protect car buyers from hidden fees. Sounds good, right? Coming up in our next half hour, Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us to break down the law for us. Also at 7:30, we're going to head back out live to the Moda Center. That's where the Blazers start their season tonight. Pretty shot from the roof of the Moda Center, looking at downtown Portland and the convention center right there. Tip-off Tommy Schultz is going to join us with a preview of tonight's action coming up in the 7:30 half hour.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
We're coming up on 7:29 on a Wednesday morning drive, and we are getting into the thick of it now as we get deeper into that commute, the drive getting slower. This is I-5 up in North Portland near the Expo Center. The headlights there representing the southbound commute out of Clark County, which right now stands at about 22 minutes. Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. So busy, but moving. Here's a quick look at the sunset. Staring at the sunrise coming in from Murray Boulevard. Right now, you're tripping from Hillsborough, averaging just shy of 30 now for Brookwood Parkway to I-405. Rod?
Thank you, Chris. We do have fog out in Hillsborough, for example. and other parts of the west side. But other than that, we're fog free and looking pretty good. There's a gorgeous shot of the fall colors on the Capitol Mall in Salem. 42 is the number. Really pretty from our the Springs at the Waterfront camera in Vancouver. Look at the Columbia River. Gorgeous. There's Mount Hood. Temperature 43 degrees. Portland 45, fog pockets mainly on the west side as I mentioned. Don't forget there could be a sprinkle or a trace of moisture at some point this afternoon, but most of your day will be dry. We'll get up to 63. We're still tracking the 2-day rainstorm with the KGW impact alert on Friday and Saturday.
Wells Fargo Cam shows us this sunrise shot to start our 7:30 half hour. I see the city down there as well, Mount Hood in the distance, but man, that sunrise looks pretty awesome on this Wednesday morning. We've got some activity tonight in Portland. We've got the Blazers starting their season at the Moda Center. Tip-off Thomas Schultz is live there for us, so he's going to have us a little preview coming up in a few minutes. But before we get to that, we got to get to this man's for you.
My turn. All right, so it had been dark, so we weren't able to show you fog cameras for the most part. But now it is getting light, and we can pick up some of our cameras showing the fog. So here's the Reserve Venison Golf Club out in Aloha. I mean, you can see the golf course, but still that's pretty foggy. We've had dense fog reports at times, both out in Washington County and down in Yamhill County around McMinnville. But from Portland down to Salem and certainly over on the east side, fog free. Again, here's that shot we just showed you. It's 45 degrees out at PDX. Our day moving forward, 56 at noon. Increasing cloudiness into the afternoon hours. Remember, there's that tail end of a weak system that passes us that may or may not give us a brief passing of a raindrop. Otherwise, we're dry, and today about 63. Here's Chris.
Rod, let's get you out the door with a quick look at the drive, which is getting busier as we're deeper into the morning commute hours now. I-5 southbound up near the Expo Center. The headlights there representing the southbound commute out of Clark County over the Interstate Bridge. And over the last little while, that's held steady at about 22 minutes or so from Main Street to the Fremont. Quick check over on the west side. This is out near Murray Boulevard on Highway 26. Probably not hard to guess. The taillights there representing the eastbound drive, so that too is getting busier. And door number 3 takes us to the Rose City Sky Camera. You can see a lot from here, including the I-5 drive northbound over the Markham Bridge. Right now the trip in from Wilsonville, not bad, but it is building. Just shy of 30 now from Wilsonville Road to downtown. Drew, China?
All right, thank you, Chris. Top story here at 7:30. We're talking about a Hillsborough grandfather, originally from Mexico, who has lived in Oregon since he was 18, and he's now in ICE detention in Tacoma. He was arrested by agents, apparently looking for a different man with the same exact name, but the one they were looking for had prior criminal convictions. Even though this Victor Cruz showed his papers, including a work permit, agents still detained him last Tuesday. His wife and daughter told KGW that he willingly got out of his truck to show ICE agents his papers, but was told those papers didn't matter.
My son saw the video of him, and he's asking why are these bad people taking my grandpa? My grandpa is a good person. He's never done anything wrong. So just having to explain that, and it's so difficult explaining why their grandpa can't come home.
So we did reach out to DHS. We also reached out to ICE. We're still waiting to hear back from either or both. Representative Suzanne Bonamici, meanwhile, who's closely following this case, told KGW, quote, Victor Cruz is in the country legally and is a well-regarded member of his community. She continues to urge people to reach out to her office with immigration issues and ICE-related activity. You can watch the full story on this, by the way, at KGW.com. We also have it in a different spot here on KGW+.
Meantime, hundreds of volunteers from around the Portland metro area have come forward to help record and verify ICE arrests. These legal observers document the arrest with video, photos, and information. They consider themselves neutral third parties who can even be called to testify in court.
It's time out of all our busy lives. I'm a mom. I'm, active in the community in other ways, but I think it's really important for us to show up for those, our neighbors and our friends and our colleagues.
Some critics say observers are getting in the way of ICE agents doing their jobs.
4 people were arrested and more than 100 others were reportedly detained after federal agents, including ICE, raided a horse racing facility in Idaho. The FBI says the 4 arrests were connected to an illegal gambling operation. Again, dozens of others were reportedly detained, including people who were there to watch the races. We heard from one woman who says her husband was taken away while watching a race with his grandson.
I would never expect to happen to my husband, and it did yesterday. And it hurt me so bad. He was crying, very crying, because he kept on saying, my grandpa, my grandpa, my grandpa.
So the woman also says her grandson was released to the family, but again, her husband, she says, was taken away in a white van. She did not share her husband's immigration status or whether he has a criminal record. In a statement, Homeland Security said the people detained that day are here in the U.S. illegally.
New this morning, Oregon is taking steps to make car loans more transparent. So a new state law aims to protect buyers from hidden fees and those surprise costs.
The legislation includes several changes to the auto finance process that could save buyers money in the long run. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live with more on this. Corey, if you're talking savings, we're listening.
Well, Drew, China, it's called House Bill 3178, and it's now signed into law. And really, it targets the fine print of these auto loans and making sure Oregon drivers know exactly what they're signing before they buy a car. Now, it requires lenders and dealers to clearly disclose all interest rates, fees, and added products before the deal is done. Consumer protection officials say the law is designed to stop practices where extra charges or inflated rates are tucked into contracts. The law was recently signed by Governor Tina Kotek, and it's set to take effect January 2026. So what's happening with it currently in the meantime? Officials say they're spending the next few months educating dealerships on compliance and consumer rights. Now, they say clearer loan terms will help Oregonians avoid paying hundreds, even thousands more than expected.
If a consumer goes into a dealership, you hammer out that contract goes to an auto finance company, and the auto finance company kind of wants to change some of the terms in that contract. The consumer has a 10-day window to void the contract if the terms are not the same as the ones that they agreed to there at the dealership.
And we also break down more of this new legislation coming up at 8 o'clock and how the timeline for auto contracts are changing underneath the new guidelines. Drew, China.
Our Corey Johnson reporting live this morning. Thank you, Corey. A Gresham mother of two has been left paralyzed after her family says that she was shot while trying to help a stranger.
KGW's Celine Stevens has the details after speaking with her sister.
Early Sunday morning, around 2:30, 30-year-old Miranda Rice and her partner were leaving the Division Sports Pub when her sister says they saw a man being attacked in the parking lot.
The whole situation just kind of proves of who she is. You know, she was helping a stranger.
Jessica Hawash says her sister and her boyfriend stepped in to break up the fight, but when they walked away, one of the attackers pulled a gun.
When they went to go leave after trying to separate it, one of the patrons that was attacking the guy on the ground pulled a weapon and shot at them, and it hit my sister in the spine.
Rice was awake and talking after the shooting, even telling their mom what happened from inside the ambulance. Doctors later told the family she suffered life-changing injuries.
She's in an immense amount of pain. She lost a kidney, so she's feeling a lot of that. And they just basically confirmed that she's a paraplegic.
Rice, a mother of two girls, had been getting her life back on track and was supposed to move to a new apartment Tuesday.
She was just kind of really getting her feet on the ground. She's scared. She just keeps saying, like, he tried to kill me for no reason, like I was just trying to help.
Gresham police say they responded to a report of a fight with at least one gunshot fired in the Hood Center parking lot, adding the suspect or suspects ran before officers arrived. Now, a GoFundMe has been created to help with medical bills and recovery costs.
Miranda she will help anybody at any time. You know, she's really strong. She loves her kids.
Her sister says Rice is refusing to give up, convinced she'll walk again.
She's in high spirits. She's not believing them that she's not going to walk. So I think that's half the battle. She's going to fight.
There's currently no suspect description, but anyone with any information is urged to contact Gresham Police. In Gresham, Celine Stevens, KGW News.
All right, here's the question of the morning, if you will. Well, this is someone's answer to the question, but we do need to set up what the heck we're talking about. Earlier this morning, right around 6:30, we learned for the first time, even though I've worked with Rod for 10 years, that he does not brush his teeth before he comes to work.
Yep.
Just doesn't do it. Doesn't think he has to, he says, because he brushes them at night, and that should be enough. So we asked our Sunrise viewers, when do you brush your teeth? Morning, night, or in China's case, both? Mary chimes in. She says, I definitely brush my teeth in the morning because of morning breath. And then she says she brushes them at night because, you know, she's going to bed and she wants to make sure her teeth are clean at that point.
Yes, Mary. And then Cheryl says, I brush at least twice a day, always before I leave the house for the day. China is the only one I now have dental care respect for. Yes, Cheryl.
That's because I think we're going to bring Rod into the mix here. Rod admitted to only brushing his teeth at nighttime. I said, you know what, I always brush my teeth. I've never not brushed my teeth before coming to work, but I don't always brush them again the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And China said, well, geez, guys, I always brush them at least twice, if not more.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yeah, I brush my teeth after I have lunch too, when I get home. So those are the 2 days a week. The 2 days.
2 times a day.
Thank you, I'm trying to say that. The 2 times a day I brush my teeth. After lunch and then before I go to bed.
But nobody said, hey, you have morning breath.
Oh, I have coffee breath. No, I don't care if I bathe in Crest toothpaste. Once I have that first cup of coffee, I have coffee breath in the morning.
Why are you holding up a picture of yourself in front of yourself?
Because I don't want to look at you two.
Okay.
But don't you agree? I mean, if you were going to only brush your teeth once a day, wouldn't that one time be when you wake up before you come to work?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Oh,
Hey, if our viewers want to chime in, they can. 503-226-5088 is the text line. When and how often do you brush your teeth on the daily?
You guys are still there?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, producer, let me know when it's just me on camera. Is it just me on camera? Okay, thank you. Now I can look at my audience out there. Good morning to you. We have our Timberline Lodge camera. There's Mount Jefferson. The cameras are pretty this morning with the early sunrise colors, 47 degrees. Not quite too, no, actually the sun is up. Pardon me, the sun is now up. Here's Providence Park, partly cloudy skies looking out over the West Hills, 48 degrees. We have fog out in Hillsboro, 41. Fog pockets down into McMinnville, but the rest of us are generally partly cloudy this morning. 51 Happy Valley and Troutdale because we had a touch of wind overnight, which is why the fog has been limited to the west side this morning. 44 down in Albany. Futurecast, I just want to show you, here's a rain chance approaching the beach at 11 this morning. That breaks up into a chance of a sprinkle or a trace of rain into the valley during the afternoon. This is a day clearly most of us will stay dry. You will either be dry where you live or for some brief moment this afternoon, you'll have literally a raindrop or two come down. So really we're looking pretty dry. Here's Whiskey, our KGW dog of the day. Use that email address there. Send us your dog's photo and name, and they'll become our dog of the day. We're still keeping our Halloween theme out there in the wheelbarrow with the pumpkins. Forecast map for today, partly to mostly sunny out east. Statewide in the 60s. The best chance of any rain is probably up here around Astoria and Tillamook, and even that would be maybe 2/100ths of an inch of rain. Tomorrow looks mainly dry too, although I'm holding a showered threat. And then the 2-day rain event is still on to move in Friday morning through Saturday. Occasional shots of heavy rain, gusty winds at times both days. That calms down into more of a typical showery day on Sunday. And now here he is, Chris McGinnis.
Let's take you to the east side of Vancouver. We had a vehicle fire on I-205 northbound just a few minutes ago. In fact, it looks like emergency crews are still there on the scene, not far from 39th Street. Again, this is looking northbound. Volume on that side of the freeway, of course, less than the southbound side, which is getting pretty busy now near SR 500. All right, we'll switch gears. Take it to North Portland, slow and steady on that I-5 drive through the Expo Center area. And that drive actually has ballooned up to nearly 30 minutes now to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont. So we're in full swing on that side of town. Taking you down to the south in Tigard and Tualatin. There's your northbound I-5 drive. That too is starting to tighten up just a little bit. 32 minutes get you in from Wilsonville to downtown. We'll be right back.
Well, guys, look, I'm a little tired after eating all those deep fried Uncrustables, so we found a nice spot to sit and relax. Eric behind the camera, he's been working hard. Get over here, Eric. We need you in this as well. Just got to take the edge off here. Take advantage of these nice, secluded couches. We're on the club level. We're still at the Moda Center, guys. We're just taking the edge off, but we can't stay too long because we got a lot coming up for you, coming up in just a few minutes, and then we roll on to the 8 o'clock hour of sunrise.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
NBA basketball back, baby. The Blazers start their season tonight. The 82-game schedule kicks off at home against the Timberwolves.
Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live from the Moda Center. So, Thomas, why are we stretching?
Are you tired? What's going on?
Are we?
Guys, I mean, those couches were just so cozy, man. You could just sleep on those all day. But I told you a little bit ago, we got a lot more to talk about. That's all at Cascade Club. That's what we just showed you right around the corners where those nice, luxurious couches are. All you got to do is get a membership on the club level. Get a year membership, and you can enjoy all the perks that has to offer. Not only can you have a nice couch, a nice place to sit, get a nice drink, get your Michelob Ultras, your Dos Equis, whatever. There also has a whiskey bar down the way. And if you're like, all right, well, that's great, but like, what about the game? You know, I want to be here for the game. Well, you just walk across the hallway, guys, and you're in the bowl. It's that simple. It's that easy. It's that just accessible here at the Moda Center. And then look at this beautiful view. You just come out 20 feet away from that nice bar, those nice couches. Boom. Moda Center, Blazers, tonight. Timberwolves on the docket for Portland, looking for the first W of the season in the home opener, the season opener, guys. A lot going on out here. Look, we showed you the court. We got to show you one more time. Look at that new video board as well. You don't even have to sit in the club level. You just sit back in these seats. I'm going to do that right now, actually. You sit back here. You pop your feet up. You say, hey, look, get your popcorn ready. You got the video center there. You got the court there. You got everything you need. Big time season opener once again happening tonight for a young team bringing back some old vets. Of course, Damian Lillard's going to be here in a mentorship role this year, looking for the playoffs. It all starts tonight, guys.
Tip off Thomas.
Did he say we're looking for the playoffs? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
He said we're looking for the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Playoffs?
Thomas has done a wonderful job all morning previewing that Blazers game. You know, it's hard to do that when it's still like 12 hours away from tip-off.
Yeah.
Game starts at 7 o'clock tonight, but we will have one more look from Thomas coming up in our next hour as well.
It is fun. It is to go to the games, right? It's always electric.
A lot of optimism for a season opener, too.
Well, and again, I'm not alone. A lot of people are excited to see our #1 draft pick, see how he looks. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. We have a nice morning unfolding. We do have the fog out on the west side this morning in Hillsboro and down into McMinnville, but most of our cameras are simply lovely. There's the sun now up, starting to rise over the hills in the east. There's Mount Hood, and another pretty morning from the Chehalem Tasting Room out in Sherwood. It's chilly. 38 is the number there, so it's 30s and 40s out the door. Don't forget, weak system, tail end of it, passes us today. We may or may not see a PM trace of rain. Mostly we just look dry today. These clouds come in tomorrow, and these are the precursor to the Friday, Saturday 2-day rainstorm that's still on track. We still have the KGW impact alert up for Friday and Saturday. Nothing at this point looks alarming enough for advisories from the Cascades from the Weather Service, with the exception the Weather Service may pop up some sort of a winter weather advisory for pass level snow Saturday night into Sunday. They may. Otherwise, this is just 2 days of heavy rain shots coming in and gusty winds. Again, not the storm of all storms. I sound like a broken record, but I want to drive this point home. Not the storm of all storms, but the wettest, the windiest, and the coldest overall that we've had so far this fall. Rain amounts at the beach still coming in 2 to 3 inches plus, still coming in at generally over an inch to maybe an inch and a half for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday period here in the valley. And most of these numbers will come with the heavy rain amounts that we'll get occasionally on Friday and Saturday. This is up to 5 inches of snow down near pass level on Mount Hood, with those snow levels dropping Saturday night into Sunday. It looks like it's all rain Friday, and could be a wet mix, but temperature certainly above freezing daytime Saturday, pass level. Winds are going to be noticeable, probably not enough for watches or warnings to be issued, but there could be some 50-mile-per-hour gusts along the headlands at the coast. There's a front coming in afternoon Friday and again about midday Saturday. So those would be the best opportunities for the winds to go above 40 at the beach. This shows 30-plus mile-per-hour winds in Salem, 1 o'clock Friday afternoon. Then the winds kind of curl off into the 20s. This is Friday at 5 p.m. and then we'll see kind of some reinvigorated wind gusts again going into afternoon on Saturday. 45 in Portland right now, 42 in Salem, 38 out in the Dalles. Partly to mostly sunny skies coming to you folks out east. Here's that just dribbled chance of a rain today. See just a green speck? Yeah, mainly dry. All right, 63 today, 64 tomorrow. The 2-day kind of wet and windy weather pattern on Friday and Saturday. More of a typical showery day with the winds easing on Sunday. A rain chance into the first part of next week. And here is Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. We mentioned this a ton last week, of course, with the 6-month closure of the Broadway Bridge that started last Monday, 10 days ago. But it bears reminding folks because, of course, the Blazers' home opener is tonight. Also new, during this entire project, the county has managed to keep the south sidewalk open. Overnight tonight, that will be closed. So if anybody's going to consider walking or maybe bicycling to and from Moda Center tonight, know that that south sidewalk will also be closed. All right, back to your drive south of town. Found some more fog here. This is I-5 near Boone's Ferry. Traffic's actually zipping along okay there, but as we look at the drive times, we are definitely building now. The trip from Wilsonville has spiked up to 41 minutes at last check. A little slow in the Banfield and the Sunset as well, about 35 minutes from Troutdale and Hillsborough to get into downtown. And last but not least, there's the lineup. The slow slog southbound through North Portland. It's like that every Wednesday morning at this hour. Sunrise rolls on after this break.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover
On weather impact alert days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Halloween is creeping up, and you might have already picked out that perfect pumpkin for your jack-o'-lantern, but how do you keep it from rotting too soon? Well, according to Clorox, bleach. But is that safe for animals? We verify.
Carving the perfect pumpkin, it's something many families will do this October. To give it a longer shelf life, some people will dump the jack-o'-lantern in vinegar or even a bleach solution. Clorox, a company that makes bleach, says to preserve a carved pumpkin, you can dilute the bleach by adding no more than a tablespoon of bleach per gallon of water and then dunk your pumpkin in for a few seconds. But this social media post warns people against that, saying it could harm any wildlife that comes along and eats the pumpkin. Is that true? Let's verify. Our sources, Jennifer Gordon, director of Carolina Waterfowl Rescue, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Bleach is commonly used in agriculture, but the USDA cautions against its household use to clean raw fruits and vegetables that you intend to eat. But what about your pumpkins?
As long as people are properly diluting the bleach, which should be like 1 tablespoon of bleach to 1 gallon of water, and they just submerge the pumpkin for a minute, it doesn't really have any effect on the animals.
Gordon says that's because there is not a lot of bleach in the solution, and so the bleach dries up quickly and harmlessly.
They're not drinking the bleach when they're eating the pumpkin later.
So we can verify that no, as long as you are diluting the bleach properly, you can use it to preserve your carved pumpkins, and it will not harm any wildlife that consumes the pumpkin. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
All right, coming up at 8 o'clock, another preview of tonight's season opener at the Moda Center, where the Blazers play the Timberwolves tonight. Tip-off Thomas Schultz joins us live for more. And later.
Because there can't be another conversation that continues until we open.
Today marks day 22 of the government making it the second longest in U.S. history. Both sides are digging in, and federal workers are caught in the middle.